Your aim for perfection every time you give a speech is forcing you to become awkward. You become so fixated on how you sound, but in doing so, you forget about the things that actually make you you. Like, your body is there, your mouth is moving, but that charismatic person that lives inside you suddenly just disappears as soon as you have to speak in front of a group of people. And after helping several people in my Toastmasters group, I realized the main reason why people feel awkward. And that's why in this video, I'm going to show you why memorizing a script word for word on any sort of notepad is the reason you're feeling awkward, and what you can do instead so you can showcase who you really are when all the eyes are on you. So let's go through the first point. You don't want to aim for perfection. You want to aim for connection. Because when you're giving a speech, your brain has so much bandwidth. Let's say 50% is on remembering your words. So when you're on stage, half of your brain is thinking about, okay, what's the next word that I've got to say? Then 10% is on how you sound. 10% is what to do with your hands. 10% is, oh, who should I look at next? And the final percent is on connecting with the audience. But if you were able to shrink that 50% down of trying to think about what the next word is, it would leave more space for you to connect with the audience. Because with connection comes the ability to inspire any sort of action. If you want to do business with them, if you want to get their email address, in order to do that, you first have to build that connection. So if you're thinking about what to say next, are you really thinking about how you can connect with the audience, or are you thinking about being perfect? And is that the reason you are feeling awkward? Because in most cases, it is. So how can you actually build connection? Well, you can build connection by being in the moment. Whenever your brain is elsewhere, you're not really connecting. You're thinking about other things. Like when you're having a conversation and you're daydreaming, you're not connecting with the other person you're speaking to because your mind is elsewhere. It's the same when you're giving a speech and you're trying to remember every single word. Like after you've said one word, you're thinking, shit, what's the next word? So the first way of connecting is by being in the moment. Another way is by interacting with the audience, using things they've said and expanding upon it, using specific things that is related to the audience or shared struggle. So the more bandwidth you can create in your brain for connection, the less awkward you are going to feel. But if memorizing your script word for word is wrong, how do you not mess up? And I'm here to tell you, it's not going to be perfect. The reason that you are feeling awkward is because you are aiming for perfection. Because when I started Toastmasters, if I messed up, if I said a filler word, I'd be annoyed. If I lost my train of thought, I'd be annoyed. If I said the wrong sentence, I'd be annoyed. I'd be walking out that room after the session thinking, oh, I said this wrong, I should have said this, I should have said this. And all I was thinking about is what I did wrong. I was thinking about me. But really, when you take that away and you start thinking, well, what can I give to the audience? You think less about your mistakes and more about that connection. So if you're in this taking mindset, that is when you're going to be thinking of perfection. But when you're in this giving mindset, that is when you're going to be thinking more of connection. And when you get to realize that, when you make a mistake, you're not going to be as bothered. You're not going to be as arsed because it's like, yes, sweet, I made a mistake. That's not the reason I'm speaking. The reason I'm speaking is to inspire some sort of action, is to change someone's life. Like when you're in there and you can look at one person and you can speak to them, you can connect to them. You look at the next person, you can connect with them. Because your bandwidth of trying to remember has decreased, which gives you more bandwidth to give eye contact, to move your hands, to connect with the audience. Things that are going to move the audience. And when you can do that, your overall self will start to become more relaxed. You'll start to feel more in the moment. You'll start to feel like, oh, this is natural. It's just like speaking to one person lots of times. It's speaking to one but looking to all. And that's when your awkwardness start to become more of a charismatic person. And then you can start to be more free and start being yourself. And before I get on to, well, what should you do if you're not memorizing your script? Like, how can I go into a speech knowing what I want to say if I'm not memorizing my script word for word? Before I get into that, there's a link down below. This is how to create an influential presentation, because getting your script down, or getting down what you want to say, should I say, is one element of creating a great presentation. There's many other elements. And if you want the blueprint to creating that, check out the first link below, completely free. I will send you this poster and 11 emails to help you in creating your next presentation. But what should you do if you don't write your script out word for word? Well, I'm here to tell you you should write your script out word for word. Once. Just write it out once. And once you do that, you want to internalize your script, not memorize your script. And I'll be honest, I nicked that quote right there from Yasir. He is a CEO speaking coach. He helps CEOs with their presentations. But you want to internalize the main points. For example, let's go through one of mine. My speech, okay, the opening, I just think my mum's non-negotiables. Then after that, I think how I got into fighting. After that, I think quitting school for fighting. After that, I think building the fighting up. After that, I think brain injury. After that, I think jiu-jitsu analogy. After that, I think closing. So I internalize the points that I'm going to talk about within my presentation. Within that, you can internalize those points even more. Let's take my head injury, for example. I think, okay, setting, where was I? I then think, bring out the conflict. What happened? Then I think, how do I marinate the conflict? Talking about my struggle in getting back to a normal state, being able to recover. That's marinating the conflict. These are little sections that I internalize and not memorize. So when I go on stage, I have more bandwidth to connect with the audience, to look them in the eye, to move my hands about, to move with intention, okay? So how can you really get this down? Practice. Practice over and over and over again. So once you've written your script, I will write down the sections and then I will internalize that in my own time. I will practice the speech. And the reason the best speakers in the world look like they memorize their script word for word is because they practice over and over again by internalizing their script. They've probably done 1,000 hours before they go on stage. All these motivational speakers that you see on YouTube, they've probably done 1,000 hours. So when you're comparing yourself to them, when you're giving a workplace presentation, it's a little bit different because they do so many hours beforehand when they get on stage. It's like fighting. When I have a fight camp, I have a 12-week fight camp. I will train maybe 14 hours a week, all for that fight that might last only 10 seconds. It's the preparation that you do beforehand that makes it look like it's natural on the stage. But really, it's just that practice of internalizing those sections that you have in your speech. And when you can do this, you won't be awkward anymore. It'll start to become natural. And then you can concentrate on the eye contact. You can concentrate on the body language. You can concentrate on moving around, using variety with your voice, because you're not now focusing on, what's the next word? Like, you're not bothered if you go, oh, it was beautiful, when really in your script it said it was amazing. You're not asked if you mess up your words like that. Because sometimes it happens where you mess one word up and it causes you to mess the next and the next and the next and the next, and it compounds up because you think, well, my script says this, which means I've got to say this after, which means I've got to say this. That is the reason that you feel awkward. And soon as you get to understand that you're not aiming for this perfection here, you're aiming for this connection so you can give to the audience and not take. By internalizing your script and not memorizing your script, you are well on the way to becoming a calm, confident, and charismatic communicator when you've got to give any sort of presentation at work. And remember, free resources in the link below. And I always do this, I forget to remember or internalize the video I did last, which is, let's have a look, how to sell during a speech without annoying people. Nah, I'll do the stories one, because although internalizing your stories are very important, if you don't even know how to structure your stories in the right way, you should probably watch this video. Bosh!